Hello YouTube, this is Nite Misfortune with Empire Civilization, a channel devoted solely to civilization games. Today we continue looking at Civilization 5 with an episode 4, which is going to be cleverly titled Victory Conditions. This is probably the next most important thing, which is why I decided to do it pretty early on in the video series. You need to understand how to win the game of Civilization 5, and basically there are 5 ways to do so. The first one is an obvious one, domination, but the rules might not be very clear. So the rules are you have to hold your capital while all others are conquered. Now, there is one thing about this, and that um, this is true only for Gods and Kings and base game. Brave New World implemented a new mechanic. You must control all opposing capitals. So, if you don't have Brave New World, just don't worry about that. Uh, if you don't have Brave New World and the other civilizations are fighting between each other and one loses their capital and then you conquer the capital of the civilization that conquered the other civilization's capital, you still win the game because only you possess your starting capital. But in Brave New World, you must conquer all other capitals. So let's take a look here. Victory progress. As you can see, I control the Carthage capital here, and Shaka controls the Moroccan capital. So in order for me to win a domination, I must control all of these, as far as I can tell. Science is next. In order to complete a science victory, you must build the starship, which is composed of, as we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. You must build all of these and send them to your capital, or I think it's a tile around your capital, and the spaceship will automatically launch once you use those. The text that you will need to obviously build these parts are right here. The first tech you will need to initiate the building of the space race, pretty much, you will need rocketry, which contains the Apollo program. And as you can see here, when signals the start of the space race, allowing your civilization to build spaceship parts. You will need to build that first. Obviously, you'll need the tech, but you'll need to build that. Next, you will need 4 research parts. Robotics is optional, but since it does lead to nanotechnology, you'll need to pick it up. There is a special building here called Spaceship Factory, which increases the production when building spaceship parts, and that is quite nice. But what I found out, because I did complete this scientific victory once, is that by that time my production was so high I didn't even really need that. So the required technologies are advanced ballistics, which unlocks the SS booster, satellites, which unlocks the SS cockpit, and it also has the Hubble Space Telescope, which further increases the production of spaceship parts, but perhaps even more important, it produces 2 great scientists, which you could use theoretically, and you probably should use them, to finish off, to speed up your research. So I forgot what the ability called, but the one-time use of that scientist. Then you will need nanotechnology, which unlocks the SS stasis chamber. And finally, you will need particle physics, which is kind of on the other side of the tree, but yeah. Um, this will probably be the last research you'll need, or that you'll get, and that unlocks the SS engine. So I believe that is all you need to know about the scientific victory. Yep. And they are units, they aren't buildings, so you can move them. That's why you need to move them next to your um, capital. Next is the culture victory, and this is again a bit different with Brave New World, but in the base game, what you needed to do is complete 5 trees in the social tracks. So right here, you would have needed to complete 5, and that is a total of 30 social policies, which is quite a bit of points. I forgot to check on it, but it's quite a bit. In Brave New World, what you need to do, these don't really matter anymore. What you need to do is focus on your tourism. So in order to win, your tourism has to surpass all other cultures of your opponent's civilizations. So as we can see here, this is my tourism versus all other cultures. Quite bad. If you see, I barely have any tourism, which is interesting. I don't even know what I was doing in this game. um, so as you can see, I'm not nowhere close to getting that. Brazil, on the other hand, if we take a look at that, it has surpassed. Oh, it hasn't. Oh yeah, it has 1 over Morocco. So you're influential. You're influential over Morocco, and then and then your tourism has to surpass all of these cultures. How you get tourism? Here's another um, nice little screen for you to take a look at. How you get tourism is by having great works of art, great works of writing, and great works of music. I think that's what they're called. And by placing them into buildings. Some buildings have a special bonus. So, for example, I get +4 for Theater of Renaissance Polish literature because all of these are from Renaissance and both of these are from Poland. Now here, it's telling me I have +0, and it's telling me that I need to maximize your bonus, make sure the great work slots are all filled with writings from different eras and from civilizations other than the city owner. So that's why I'm not getting a bonus there. But I'm probably going to do a video detailing all of this, so I'm not going to go too deeply in. But that's basically how you get tourism. And obviously at first, you're not going to be getting as much tourism as you are culture. So that is why, for the most part, you are going to, um, that's why you're not going to get a cultural victory early on. Next is the diplomatic victory. In the base game, again, you had to get the majority vote at the UN, which was built. In Brave New World, the UN is no longer built, but it is now a World Congress, which becomes the United Nations when 1/2 of the players enter the atomic era or one enters the informational era. Then the UN is founded, and the vote for world leader is made every 12 turns. Well, actually, it is made right away at first. If no one wins that, it then is made every 12 turns. And then the last victory condition is score, which is the least interesting to me, at least. You have to basically get the highest score. If no one has won any other way, I mentioned before, if you have the highest score by the year 2050, you win the game. Now, score is kind of weird in this game, and I still have not found an answer as to why clearly your score is the way it is. Of course, I could run tests and everything like that to find out for sure, but I find it not necessary since score victory is such a weird thing. You hardly ever get it if you're not going for it, and if you are going for it, it's sort of kind of boring. And for that reason, I decide to turn off score victory altogether most of the time. And I don't really care about leaderboards that much as to getting my score high up there, because if we take a look at the scoreboard, which I don't think I can do right now, but the number one guy, I believe he hacked to get to that, because there's no way you could get 500,000 points at turn 4 and win. And yeah, so that's just confusing, and there's no way that could happen. Unless you hack. I don't see any other way. So, let's take a look at how at the best picture I have come up with for the score. Keep in mind, this is nothing. This is nothing firm. This is nothing I know for sure. This is just a sort of rough idea, and I will talk about that in a second. So as we can see, these are the 6 parameters which affect your. Well, actually, there's 7 parameters, but these are the 6 things that affect your a score. The 7th parameter is your map size. It is weird that difficulty is not here. Well, I guess, yeah, difficulty has no impact, that's right, because it will be the same pretty much. So, for a city at a dual map size, you will get 21 points, plus 6 for each point of population, plus 2.11 for each tile that you control in your borders, plus 4 points for technology, each technology you research, plus 40 for each wonder you build, and 10 points for future techs. These are, I'll be honest here, these are not my numbers. Once again, this is like one of the few things that I just don't care about, since I don't play for score. It just doesn't matter. It does not impact the game in any way, shape, or form. So I don't really care. So what I did was go online and search these numbers, and I put together this little table for your information, basically. I will not be discussing the other types of victories in this video because I want to save them for later videos. Next video, I have no clue what I'm doing yet. I might start discussing the victory conditions. For example, I might discuss domination, which will be military overview and stuff like that. So that will be quite a big episode, because I have to discuss tile bonuses, defenses, things like that. If you want that file that I've just showed you, I urge you to go to my Facebook page. The link to that will be down below. Like my page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and the file will be on Facebook in a note. So go to my notes and you will see the Let's Take a Look at Civilization 5 note, and all the links will be in there. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next videos. Peace.